because it's so tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us for another Legal Corner. I'm joined by Mo Salah, the famous Liverpool forward. He also works for White Dalton's motorcycle solicitors. So, jokes.
Okay, so I did get called Mo Salah, but I'll tell you the story in the office. So I went back to the office. I don't know whether it's the big hair. Someone said it was the eyes, but I said to Robert Dransfield, who's one of our lawyers, I said, I got called Mo Salah today, but I'm a little bit older and fatter and greyer. And he is the king of puns. His response was more like no salad. And so I'm very unhappy about this. But thanks for having me out. Thanks for having me. Good day to you.
What are we talking about today, Gav?
So, topic of today is if you hit someone in the rear.
Right.
It is not, I repeat, not automatically your fault. And I've got some video.
These are the videos. Okay, right.
Yeah. The biker, who's a 44 teether, by the way, has kindly allowed me to share this video. I mean, look, we've got a car in front, an Audi.
Yeah.
Just stops, okay? There's no good reason for stopping in lane 2.
No. I mean, she's very hesitant anyway, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah.
Stops. I mean, my initial thoughts, it looks like one of those... What do they call the...
Oh, look, a crash for cash.
Crash for cash type. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Obviously, no biker's going to be involved, wants to be involved in that, but it looks like that those two cars are working together. Well, obviously, they're not, from what you were saying.
Yeah. Well,
connected.
Actually, I mean, look, the biker, and I won't go into too much detail, but sadly lost a testicle when he hit the tank. So, yeah, I mean, it was a hell of a whack on the tank. And there's no contact between the video car and the black car, but I see what you're saying. It looks like it's been staged or set up.
Yeah.
I didn't have any sort of inclination. And let's be honest, if you're a biker and you're involved in this, you don't do that for fun.
No.
No. It's not a fun experience. No. So this actually divided opinion when it came into the office, but I took one look at it and went, no, we're going to win something, because if you look at the driving of the Audi motor car, that is, in my view, just negligent, just to stop for no reason.
Absolutely, it's not dangerous, is it? It's not, no. You can't categorise that as dangerous driving, but at the same time, it could have lethal consequences.
Yeah, well, I mean, in this case, horrific, for the biker. But I mean, arguably, it's careless driving. Police played no part in this.
Yeah.
It was an accident, and they just didn't bother turning up again.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know why I'm surprised.
Yeah. But the Audi just left the scene, so we managed to trace the driver. Did some detective work on the registration number.
And you did all that?
Yeah. So we spoke to the insurer, did my own investigations, found out who the driver was, which is key, really, to bringing an action against the insurer.
Right.
Because if you don't know who the driver is, you're stuck with the MIB under the untraced agreement because the driver's gone. But yeah, it didn't stop. No collision with the black Audi and just left the scene. Now, the biker, I feel really sorry for, because, I mean, look, he's on an RS 660. Look at this contact patch, on the road. And his evidence was, I just didn't see that black car. It's blocked by the camera car.
So that camera car you're saying is a van or a estate?
No, it's a motor car, like an estate motor car.
Okay, estate.
So big enough to block his view,
right,
as he's coming off the roundabout. And if it wasn't for this video, I don't think there would be a claim.
No,
because
of course,
it's all well and good for the biker to say, well, it was a car ahead, and we go, well, what was the registration? I don't know.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to the biker, how would you know? You know, you haven't seen it, and you've done the best in a bad situation, and horrific injury. So
obviously I see now. I haven't seen this bit. He's up and about, and doesn't think things are too bad.
No. So I think he's got an injury to his hand or his thumb,
really,
which he knew about, and that's quite
Yeah.
common as you come off a bike and hit the handlebars. He did not know the extent of the gentleman part injury, and sadly later on that's then removed. It's my heart goes out to him, because that is an accident any of us could have, and you just do not expect the car in front to do that. Now, when that came into the office, it split opinion, because some of the bikers were saying, no, there is no claim there.
Before you got the video?
No. So we were watching the video.
Oh,
so
right.
Sorry. They looked at it, and I think what the lawyers had concentrated on was the fact that the biker has hit a vehicle in front.
Yes.
Okay. So there is this common misconception that if you hit the vehicle in front, you are entirely to blame.
Exactly.
Okay?
And that's what I thought all my life up until today.
Yeah, and that's not the case. Not the case. I've dealt with a number of other cases, like road rage cases where someone slammed on the brakes.
Yeah.
Andrew Dalton famously went to trial over a fire blade in the back of a Nissan Micra. I went to that trial with him actually, and it was an elderly driver who just jammed on the brakes, and the biker just had nowhere to go. So we won that 100%. If you stop for no good reason or you carry out an emergency stop, that in itself is negligence. Okay? Your driving has fallen below the standard, in my view, and that opens up the potential for a case. Now, if you stop for a reason, so let's just say a child ran out in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay, you are not going to find a judge in the land that will say, well, you should just carry on and mow them down. You can emergency brake. There are legitimate reasons, but the more I watch the video of the Audi, the more I struggle to see the basis. Now, whether they've taken a wrong turn, exited the wrong part, well, then you just carry on. You've missed your junction, you carry on, you find a safe place to turn around, and you do that. What you don't do is just slam on the brakes in lane 2. I couldn't see if she'd hit the curb or not, but, it was enough there for traffic following to have to take some emergency action. The car stopped. Of course, the car's got 4 tyres on the ground. The RS660's got a small contact patch, and he's done the best he can in a bad situation. So from the outset, I said, look, you've got a claim. We are going to win something here. But I can't win 100% because even if we issue court proceedings and end up at trial, I think a judge is going to struggle with awarding 100% because you must be able to stop in the distance you have in front of you. Okay.
So even I understand that, but geez, I mean,
yeah, no, it seemed massively unfair, and that's just like, look, blue skies, out for a nice day, all of a sudden this happens and you end up with some pretty horrific injuries. So this one actually settled before litigation, so I was preparing it to get it issued.
Oh, wow.
The insurer initially came back and said, no, we've done nothing wrong, see you at court. And then they opened up with an offer, a low offer, just out of the blue. I have no idea why they made the offer, but I said to the client, it's not enough money, let's carry on. And then a few months later, I won't go into the exact figures, just for the bikers' own privacy, but they came up with a considerably larger figure.
Oh, good.
Deservedly
so, yeah.
Yeah, and we then settled it on the basis of a monetary award only. So they never admit blame, which is common. I think they didn't want to incur the cost of going to trial. So I was really, blunt up front. I said, look, I'm not going to talk to you about it unless if you genuinely think you've done nothing wrong, let's not have a discussion. We'll just see in the courtroom, and you can tell the judge why you think you're not to blame, and we'll show the evidence as to why we think you are to blame. So it could be that the insurer wanted to avoid a costly legal process, but for whatever reason, a few months after getting the urological report, they came up with a decent enough offer to settle the case. So you are not to blame if you hit the back of a car, or you shouldn't fall into the common misconception, which is I'm to blame if that's happened. Look at the evidence, and if there's a potential claim, can it be explored?
It's almost a little. I'm obviously pleased that you did your job. You got some money, and things fell into place for this guy. Obviously, nothing's going to bring a bollock back, but at the same time, I'm a little bit. I don't know how it would make things better, but I'm a little bit gutted that it didn't go to court, just so this woman, because all she's getting is her insurance company's paying out, and she's like, oh well,
yeah. I mean, you're right. I think there's sometimes an element of having a victory in the form of a judgment in your hand, and go, I went to court, it was listened to by a judge, and I was absolved of blame. Litigation, I have to say, I have got some clients that just say, no, I want to go to court. The problem with offers when they come in, if you don't beat that offer, you're potentially paying money to the other side. So they can almost pull the rug from under your feet by making a good offer. Other bikers equally, they don't want to go to court. They're just petrified of the idea, and it's a really horrible case to have to relive. In front of a judge in a courtroom. So I follow what you're saying. I've dealt with also a number of road rage cases, where there's maybe been a barrier overtake, the car driver then got back in front, just slammed on the brakes. Those cases we win 100%, okay, because someone's done something so unusual,
Yes.
i.e. emergency braked in front of you to teach you a lesson, and there's been a collision. I mean, any judge getting hold of that is really going to be frowning. You know, okay, there was a little bit of road rage. That does not give the car driver a right just to slam on the brakes and, you know, and injure someone. So those types of cases, again, they don't always go to court because the road rager and his insurer end up making offers.
Right.
And if the offers are suitable, it will settle. If they're not, you just carry on.
Great. Thank you, Gavin.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time.
See you in the next one.